Hey everybody, Karen here with Big Cartel support team. Today I'm going to cover Google Shopping, and it is not as terrifying or as complicated as it sounds, I promise. So we're going to look at what Google Shopping actually is and how to connect your Big Cartel shop to Google Shopping so that your products can be included in Google Shopping results. We'll look at some basic troubleshooting just in case issues arise as you're connecting to Google Shopping. We'll also look at SEO for Google Merchant Center listings and how to manually update your product feed, and we're going to touch on a few other things as well. Now, first up, you need to be on a paid plan to connect to Google Shopping. If you are on the free Gold plan, you can upgrade at any time from the billing page of your admin, and then you'll be able to connect to Google Shopping. Now, before we actually get started, let's cover what Google Shopping actually is. Historically, when you would do a Google search, you'd get a list of websites and links that matched your keywords. And that's still the case, but if you're looking for products, or if Google detects that your keywords apply to products that are available online, they're going to return some shopping results at the top of the page. We've all seen them, though we may not have all totally registered what we're looking at. So I'm going to hop over to Google for a quick visual. Here we are, and let's say I'm searching for Harry Potter. All right, we're going to see expected results. We've got harrypotter.com, we've got Wikipedia, a list of characters, names, cast members, things of that nature. If we change this search to Harry Potter ones, for example, we are going to see these additional results at the top. These are Google Shopping results. It includes a product image, the product name, the price, where it's located, with a little bit of information at the bottom as well, like this return policy. So when you're connecting your shop to Google Shopping, you're getting your own products included in Google's database for these type of product search results. So to connect to Google Shopping, you'll head to the apps page in your admin. I'm going to walk you through this setup with a slideshow, but it's going to look the same on your end when you're connecting to Google Shopping. So let me get that going. All right, now from the apps page, you'll click into Google Shopping. That's in the sales channel section about the middle of the page, and you're going to end up here on the Google Shopping page in your admin. So first up, you'll click that green Get Started button. And then you're going to see a prompt to choose which Gmail account to use, if you've got more than one, for your Google Merchant Center account. Next up, you'll see that you're about to share some info with Big Cartel, so you'll click Continue. And then you're going to see this permissions page. Now, you need to select both options here, both manage your product listings and accounts for Google Shopping and manage the list of sites and domains you control. That's so we can keep your product feed in Google Shopping updated as you make updates in your shop. So you have to click them both. I mean, you don't have to click them both, but the Google Shopping integration won't work if you don't. So yeah, go ahead and select both, just like I did. Then you're going to scroll down the page and you're going to click Continue there at the very bottom. From there, you'll be redirected back to your Big Cartel admin, and you'll see this page, Create a Google Merchant Center account. It says, to start syncing your products to Google, you'll first need to create a Google Merchant Center account. Now, upon reading this, if you realize, oh shoot, I selected the wrong Gmail address back there, you can just click Choose a different Google account to change that, so no worries. Otherwise, you'll click to create a new account, and your Google Merchant Center account will be created. And you'll see a confirmation at the top of the page, a big green banner that says, yes, your Google Shopping account has been created. You'll also see your newly issued merchant ID here at the top. You'll see your business name, which is your shop's name, and then your shop URL as well. Now, if you scroll down the page, you're gonna see your shop requirements. It's pretty self-explanatory. These are your shop requirements. Now, these are prompts from Google Merchant Center. They are not prompted from Big Cartel. They're not our requirements, and they're not generated from our end. It's all from Google Merchant Center. Now, I already had 2 requirements checked off from the get-go right here. That's because my shop's maintenance mode wasn't enabled and because I already had the checkout connected. So you can see those 2 green check marks indicating they're already done. When you're connecting your own shop to Google Shopping, you'll also see those checked off if you've got maintenance mode disabled and if you've got the checkout set up. If you don't, no big deal. You'll just see the red exclamation point icon next to those requirements, letting you know you need to take care of them. So if we start at the top, your shop's domain has not yet been verified. If you're using a custom domain and it's connected to your shop, that's the domain that'll be verified. Otherwise, your bigcartel.com URL will be verified. So to verify your domain, you just click that green verify your domain text right there. The page is going to refresh and your domain will have been verified. Now, if you do have any trouble with the automatic verification, you'll see a prompt to manually verify your URL through Google Merchant Center. So you'll just click to manually verify your domain, and then you'll follow their prompts to verify on Google Merchant Center's end. So even if you do have an issue, you will see a prompt as to how to fix it. You're not going to be left in the dark trying to figure it out on your own. So next up, you need to connect the product feed. So you're just going to connect product feed here, and then it's going to be checked off. Super easy. That's going to connect your product feed to your Google Merchant Center account. So we're all done there. Now, again, you'll notice actually at the bottom here, online store not yet confirmed. That's because I still have steps to complete. The entire checklist has to be completed in order for my shop to be confirmed. It's just FYI when you see that on your end. So next up, we've got the 2 completed steps, maintenance mode and payment processor. So lastly, I have to add a return policy. Now, I've already got one in my shop, but I need to add a return policy to Google Merchant Center. And when you're doing this on your end, you will want to keep in mind that your Google Merchant Center policy must match your Big Cartel shop's policy, or the review will fail. So starting, you'll click Add Refund Policy to Google Merchant Center, and then you'll be redirected here. This is the shipping and return section in Google Merchant Center. I didn't add a shipping policy because it's not currently required for Google Merchant Center. You're more than welcome to if you'd like. But the returns policy is required by Google Merchant Center. So you'll just click right here, Add Return Policy. And then first you need to copy and paste the URL for your Big Cartel shop's return policy page and paste it right here at the top under Return Policy URL. Now be sure you copy and paste the correct URL or Google won't review the correct page and it'll fail. Next up, you are going to see the country section below that. Now you need to select all the countries that your returns policy applies to, and you have to actually complete this section. So when you click Add Countries, you're going to see this pop up. I'm in the US, it's where I'm located and where I ship my products, so I selected US. If I was also shipping to Mexico or Canada or anywhere else, I'd want to include those countries as well if I want my return policies to apply to customers in those countries. So you're going to do the same on your end. Then when you're all finished selecting the countries, you will click Add. And we can see that my selection, the US, is now here in this countries section, but I can't go forward. Even though I've added this as my country, I have to actually click it like that, then I can move on to the next section. Google isn't just going to automatically select whatever countries you have added for your list. And they're not going to let you move on to whatever step is next in your list until you complete where you're at. So that's a pretty handy feature with this whole setup. Now below that is the returns section. By default, yes, I accept returns for defective and non-defective products is selected. I left that as is, excuse me, but it's definitely up to you whether or not you even want to accept returns. You can choose, no, I don't accept returns, and that's totally fine. Your Big Cartel shop's policy page just has to reflect that as well. But I left it as yes, so I was redirected to this section, and that covers the product condition and refund window. Now, I only want to accept returns on new products. You can choose if you'd like to also accept returns on slightly used products. My shop's returns page states that I will accept returns within 5 days of delivery, so that needs to match up here in Google Merchant Center. So I set that to 5 days here. And next up is the option to add an extension, and it states that you can extend the returns window during certain times a year, like the holidays, and I think that's a great idea. So I clicked to add an extension, and this popped up, and this is going to pop up on your end as well if you choose to add an extension. You'll select a date range that the returns extension applies to. So I chose November 1st through December 20th. I decided I'm going to put my shop in maintenance mode starting on the 21st, so I don't want any orders after that. And here is my returns window, November 1st through the 20th. And now I have to decide how long I want to give for holiday returns. So remember, my shop's current window is 5 days from the delivery date. But since it's the holidays and no one returns gifts in a timely manner, we're all too busy having fun, I set my returns for the holidays for 31 days. So if you'd rather, you can set a cutoff date for returns to be no later than. So you can set a date rather than the number of days if you'd like. So if you want to go that route, you're just going to choose this no later than date and then click OK, and you're going to see another calendar pop up, and that you'll just choose which date you want to be the cutoff. So I chose January 20th of 2025, and then I clicked OK. And here is my window extension. So any orders placed between November 1st and the 20th is going to have a bigger returns window, but the absolute last day I'm going to take returns on holiday orders is going to be January 20th, 2025. All right, so we'll just click next. And before I move on, you definitely don't have to offer an extension. This is just an example of how I set up my Google Merchant Center account. So you don't have to, but it might be a good idea to offer a slightly more lenient returns window around the holidays, because that can tempt customers to place orders in your shop if they know they're going to have a bit more time to return an item if it doesn't work out for their recipient. All right, moving on. We are now at the return method and fees section. I am only accepting returns by mail, so I clicked by mail right there at the top. But if you've got a brick and mortar store, or if you offer local pickup or drop off, you can choose those other options. I'm leaving the currency as is, since that's the currency my shop is set to. By default, on the return label, that option is set to included in the package, but there are other options if you click into that. So you can include it in the package, you can offer customers a way to download and print it, or you can make it the customer's responsibility to return that package. I clicked that it's my customer's responsibility. Again, it's totally up to you. If you want to do a different option, that's great. I am not going to charge a restocking fee, so I left the default no cost selected, and I set the refund processing time at 10 days, since that seems to be the default for refunds. You always hear, expect your refund in 7 to 10 days, so I set that at 10 days. You'll click next, and then you're going to see all this info that you added. So you do want to very carefully review this information. Any differences in your shop's policy versus this policy will cause the page to fail. Usually the error messages are super straightforward from Google Merchant Center, but we just saw a really vague one. Didn't make any sense, but it turned out that the shop's restocking fee was slightly different than what they had entered in Google Merchant Center, and it caused the verification to fail. So do be sure that everything is correct. And when you've double checked it all, you're going to scroll all the way down the page to here, Return Policy Review. You'll see a little check mark that you're going to click. Then you will click Save, and you're going to be back here, and you will see that your returns policy has been added to Google Merchant Center. Now, I do not have products with different returns policies, so I had no exceptions to add. But if you have products that have different returns policies, for example, you might have ready-made off-the-shelf items, but you might also offer custom-made items that do have an exception, you can just click this little plus button here under the Actions column, and you can add your product exceptions there. Now, I stopped here when I was connecting my shop to Google Shopping, so you don't have to complete this in one go. You can definitely come back to it. If you notice, my returns policy was not verified immediately under the status section here. It's not going to be immediate on your end either when you're connecting Google Shopping, so don't panic. The next day when I came back to finish my setup, it was verified, as you can see here under the status section. So as long as your shop's page matches what you've entered in Google Merchant Center, it should verify. You can come back and you're going to see that it's verified, just like I did. But I went to my admin, my Big Cartel admin, and it had not updated yet. So if this happens to you as well, you just need to refresh the page. I simply refreshed my Big Cartel admin's Google Shopping page, and I got the updated checklist. So again, if you're seeing that your policy has been verified in Google Merchant Center, but it's not showing here, just refresh the page. So everything's been checked off in my list of shop requirements, and that Merchant Center issue at the bottom that was stating my online store hadn't been confirmed is now gone, because by checking off all those steps, Google Merchant Center has confirmed my shop. But if you notice, I did have a remaining Google Merchant Center issue, and that was a missing business address. So I needed to take care of that. I just clicked into the issue, and you'll do the same if you see that you're missing your business address. And then you'll be redirected to the section in Google Merchant Center where you need to add your business address. Right here, we're in Business Info, and you'll just click Edit Business Details. And here we are on the address page. The business name is automatically populated, so you just need to enter your business address. Below that, you'll add your shop's contact page for customers to reach out to you from if it isn't automatically populated. It should be, but if it's not, you can just paste it in there. Next up is the email address. As it states on the right, though, all this info is going to be visible to customers, and we don't generally recommend having a visible email address because that can open you up to phishing and other ID theft scams. It's up to you if you want to add it anyway, though. You could also add your phone number if you want to accept customer calls, but again, you might find you're going to get a lot more spam calls and texts if you have a visible phone number. It's totally up to you, though. And you can always come back and delete it down the road if you want. Now, if you've got a chat integration added to your shop setup, you can indicate that in your Google Shopping results. Below that, there are identity attributes that you can add to your Google Shopping results, and these will show up in each of your individual results just below the text. And it's going to be represented as a little icon. So, for example, if you toggle on small business right here, a little icon of a building with an awning is going to be included in each of your Google Shopping results. If you select women owned, you're going to see a purple heart. Veteran owned is an American flag in the shape of a letter V. Black owned is an orange circle with a black heart inside. And Latino owned is a flower with 2 green leaves. Now below that, you've got fields to add your social media profiles. And as it states, you can add up to 4. Also on the right, you can see that verified profiles may be displayed on Google search in the US. And that's something to keep in mind. They may be displayed. Keep that in mind in this entire process because you can give Google all the info in the world, but ultimately Google is going to choose how to actually display it all. Below that, you'll enter your Korean business registration number if you have one. And then just below that, before you move on, you need to click if you have adult-oriented content in your shop. I would be super honest about this. Google Merchant Center gives the example of erotic lingerie as adult content. So check that box if you do have adult content. Otherwise, your shop's review is not going to be fast and it's not going to go smoothly. You'll most likely have some products failed because you said they weren't of an adult nature. So you'll have to then appeal their decision and fess up that yes, this is an adult product. So just do yourself a favor, be honest, check the box. If it applies, it's going to be faster for you in the long run. Now, once you add your business info, you're going to be redirected back to the business info page, and there you're going to see your address and contact info added. And if you ever need to change it in the future, maybe you do add your email and you find you are getting all these spam emails, you can just go back and delete it just by clicking Edit Business Details. Now, I went back to my Big Cartel admin's Google Shopping page, and I still had that Merchant Center issue message, but I just refreshed the page, and it was gone. So again, if you're going through these steps and you take care of something on Google Merchant Center's end, I have said Google Merchant so many times, I'm surprised I'm even able to say Google anymore. But if you find you've taken care of everything on Google Merchant Center's end, but it's not updated on our end yet, just refresh the page. And also keep in mind, the review can take 3 days, so you might just need to be patient. If you do get everything down on the checklist, but you don't see everything immediately checked off, you can refresh the page to see how your updates are going. But again, we are getting all this info from Google Merchant Center, so refreshing the page is going to tell you immediately what potential issues there may be to fix. So now I'm going to hop over to my Google Merchant Center account so we can take a look at a few things. Here we go. And when you have finished connecting your shop to Google Shopping, you'll want to head over to your own product list in Google Merchant Center. You'll just click products here in your left navigation to see your list. And this is my list. This is what's being fed to Google Merchant Center from my Big Cartel shop. As we can see, not all my products have been approved. Some are still under review. Some have been approved. So only some of my products are going to appear in Google Shopping results now. They'll all still show up in the list results below Google Shopping results, but not the actual product shopping results with the little images and the product details. So right now I need to check some stuff out. I've got my Get 'em Tiger sweatshirt approved. I've got my tote bag approved and my mug, but I've got some that are not. So those ones are not going to be included in Google Shopping results. Hopefully all your products are immediately approved, but if not, you will want to click into your products at least just to make sure you've got everything Google Merchant Center is asking for. So right now, my United Artists is under review. So let's click into that. Just scroll to the right and click that pencil icon. And let's see what's going on with this product here. There we go. Oh, there we go. My product is missing a field. I've got one missing or invalid field, and I can see right now it's missing the description. So that's highlighted red, makes it super easy for me to see what I need to do. So I need to add this description before Google Merchant Center is going to include this product in Google Shopping results. And again, since this is feeding from my Big Cartel shop, that means I did not add a description over there. So I'm going to hop over to my admin and add it. Here we go into products, and it was my United Artists. So let's do a quick description. There we go. We'll click save. And done. Now Google Merchant Center is going to update their product listings with this new description I just added. I can either wait to have Google Merchant Center update this on their end, or I can manually update my data source and make it go faster. And I'll show you how to do that now. Hopping back over to Google Merchant Center, we can cancel out of that since I updated that in my shop. In the product section still, you're going to, wherever you are in your list, wherever you're at the bottom, just scroll all the way up and you're going to see this. Looks purple to me, this purple view data sources text. Click into that. And then you'll just click this blue update with the arrow text. And that is going to prompt an update of my product info in Google Merchant Center. All done. Now I can close out of data sources. Now I want to look at the product info in Google Merchant Center. So let's look at my sweatshirt here. This has been approved. We can see that I've got an image there for it. We can see the product name as well as the variant here. And you're going to notice that your variants will be split out into their own product listing in Google Merchant Center, and that's totally fine. There is not a limit to Google Shopping product listings. So don't panic if you only have maybe 50 products in your shop, but you see 200 here. It's because all the variants are going to get split out. So I can also see the product ID we assign. We can see the price and whether or not it's in stock. Now, even though it's verified, I'm going to click into this product just to see if I'm missing anything here. Oh, all right. So I have got 4 missing or invalid fields, and I need to fix that in order for it to show up in Google Shopping results. And this is tricky because this product is verified, but Google Merchant Center is asking for additional info. Otherwise, it's not going to be visible to customers. And this is applicable to apparel. So be sure, especially if you have apparel, irrelevant of your product type, click into it here and make sure everything's covered. But if you've got apparel, click into here and add whatever additional information they're asking for. So like I said, this is all fed into Google Merchant Center from my Big Cartel shop. We can see my product link, the title, my shop name, the description. We can see my image. But if you keep scrolling, you're going to see additional fields here that aren't in the Big Cartel product listing, like product type and condition. Now, to ensure that your products have no trouble getting added to Google Shopping, I would input as much valid and applicable information as possible. And I stress to make sure it's valid and applicable so that your product isn't flagged. Just make sure whatever you're adding makes sense for the product you're adding it to. So I am going to add a product type of sweatshirt here because it's a sweatshirt. And next up, we've got shirts and tops selected. That applies, so I'll leave it as is. By default, condition is going to be new, and this is new, so I will also leave that. The price, currency, and availability are all automatically filled in and accurate, so I will also leave that. It is not on sale, so I'm going to go ahead and skip that. Below this, we've got product identifiers. This is the ID we assign. Scrolling further, we have got the language and countries section. Those are not editable. It's based on your shop's location and product feed. Below that, we've got marketing methods. I don't have any ads running, otherwise that would be showing here. So we're just seeing that I'm using their free listings. Below that, we've got labels. Now, these are just to help you sort your products in Google Merchant Center. They're not visible to customers. So customers will not see if you've assigned a product a back to school label or a holiday gift idea label. This is just to help you sort products on the back end, and they're totally optional. You don't have to use them if you don't want. Scrolling further, we've got apparel product details right here, and we got some highlighted red fields here. So we need to take care of this. We pass over the size and color, but as we can see, this product is not getting split off by Google Merchant Center. So I need to add my color and size, and I think I clicked into the gray medium, but let's double check to make sure it's right. Yep, medium gray. There we go. And we'll keep going. Now the size type is going to be like fitted for t-shirts, or flared legs for pants, or long pant leg, for pants. As it states on the right, the default's going to be regular, so I can leave this field blank, and Google Merchant Center is just going to default the size type as regular. But if I was selling t-shirts that are specifically fitted for women, then I would want to put maybe fitted. Below that, we can see size system, and if we click into it, we're going to see a list of countries. So you can indicate if your products are in US sizing or EU sizing or so forth. I am going to select US for the size system. Below that, we've got gender, so we can indicate if the product is meant for men or women, or we could choose unisex, and that means it's meant for either. So I'm going to select unisex because sweatshirts aren't fitted anyway, so it can be worn by either gender. So I'm going to do unisex there. I'm also going to add material. It's a cotton blend, and that gray is a little heathered, so I'm going to indicate that in the pattern. Yeah, and all of this info that you add to these sections is going to be used for your Google Shopping SEO, so they can actually help your products come up in more search results. Your Big Cartel products as a whole are already set for Google search results because we use SEO best practices to ensure your products get discovered and picked up by search engines. And this is just cherry on the top for Google Shopping results. So it's a good idea to add stuff here. Now, lastly, I need to select an age group. So we'll do adult. And now I'm finished with my apparel details. Again, you're going to want to make sure you get all yours added if they apply. Below that, we've got additional product details, but none of these apply to my product. If they do apply to yours, definitely spend some time in there. They don't apply to mine, so I'll close on out. The shipping, tax, and returns can be skipped because that's all taken into account from your Big Cartel shop's setup. And I do not have additional product attributes. So I will save my change. And now I just need to give Google Merchant Center time to review my changes. So I'm just going to sit back and give it a minute and not panic. Close out of there. And now let's say that all of my products have been approved and they're all going to be considered for Google Shopping results, but maybe I have a few that I don't want included in Google Shopping results. You can actually ask Google not to include your products in those shopping results, and then they're basically going to be ignored. So to do that, we're still here in the product section under invisibility. We are making some invisible, but under visibility, you will click the clock icon if it's under review, and then you'll see this pop up. This product is currently under review. Products cannot be shown to customers while they're under policy review. By default, you'll see show on Google once approved, but I can uncheck that and then click apply. And when I do that, my product is going to be totally ignored by Google Merchant Center and they will not be included in search results. You can do that with under review and approved products. If it's already approved, just click this little drop down arrow. You'll see that this product is showing on Google. Just uncheck that. Then click apply, and that's going to be pulled from being potentially added to Google Shopping results. And this could be, like I said, this could be anything. You might have coming soon products, you might have sold out products, you might have stuff that you're just working and you just don't want anyone to see yet. So you can just have Google ignore any product you want. Now, one bit of information that's required but will not show a warning or an error if it's missing is your shipping rates. Remember how I said that shipping info is passed from Big Cartel to Google Merchant Center? Well, it's totally true, but if there are no shipping rates to pass over, then Google Merchant Center doesn't receive any shipping rates on a given product. I had a few products stuck in review for a while. It felt like ages, and there were no error messages popping up, and I just kept clicking in to update my feed and double checking I didn't have any errors, but nothing happened. Once I added shipping to the products in my Big Cartel shop, they were immediately approved. And that is why this script shirt here is still in review. I left it as is so we could look at it as an example. So I'm going to hop over to my admin and add shipping to that product. Here we go. And we'll do US since that's where I'm at. We'll ship $5. T-shirts are so light I can fit more than one in a box. So we'll save that. And now, yep, my product was updated, so I'm set there. Now I'm going to go back over to Merchant Center and I'm going to update my data source. There we go. And now that product should be approved without any trouble. So be sure to add shipping to your products, even if you don't have shipping rates added because maybe you pay for shipping, or maybe you accept orders from everywhere and you've just rolled your rates into the base price of your products. You still need to add shipping to your products in order for Google Merchant Center to approve them. So if, for example, you do pay for shipping, you still need to set shipping, and you can set it at 0.00. So whether it's Canadian dollar, US dollar, Mexican peso, euro, pound sterling, if you set 0.00, that still counts as shipping and it will be approved by Google. So just keep that in mind. You do actually have to add shipping for your products in order for them to be accepted. Now that means Google Shopping doesn't support digital products or services or classes, unfortunately. Google Shopping is intended for physical products, so digital and other intangible products won't come up in Google Shopping results. All right, let's talk about some of the potential issues that you might come across when connecting to Google Shopping. If you look at my products list, again, we saw that some were under review, some had been approved, and we now know why they were under review. If you find your products are still under review and it's just taking forever, but you're not seeing any errors, just be sure to click into each product listing and make sure you're not missing any info. They're pretty quick about completing the review, so it really shouldn't take more than 3 days. And sometimes there are issues and your Merchant Center account gets suspended for policy violations, or your product gets flagged for misrepresentation, or your product visibility is limited, or your product is flagged because Google Merchant Center doesn't allow live animals to be sold. But you don't sell live animals. It was just a drawing of a shark. We literally saw that. Someone had such a good drawing of a shark that Google Merchant Center thought it was a live animal and flagged the product. One seller wasn't getting approved because he hadn't given his product a feed name, but that wasn't a requirement in my own Google Merchant Center account on my end. It was a locational thing. So it's very possible that me being here in the US, I might have slightly different requirements that someone over in France or in Italy, they don't have that, or they may have a requirement I don't have. There are going to be some quirks here and there, so don't panic. Yes, errors can sometimes be frustrating, even startling, especially when you know your products are in line with their policy and you are not misrepresenting anything. Like, I totally get the panic. If you're seeing errors, you're also going to see some direction as to what you need to do to fix it. So you're not going to be left figuring it out. If you're not seeing a link or specific in-depth info, you can do a Google search of whatever your products are being flagged for, like misrepresentation, and then you'll find a Google Merchant Center help article that explains exactly what their policy is around misrepresentation, what they consider misrepresentation, examples of it, and then what you can do to fix it, and then you can ask Google Merchant Center to review your product again. You can appeal their decision. Now that review can take 7 days, not 3 like the initial shop and product review when you initially connect your shop. So it does take a little bit more time. Just remember that real people are not reviewing the products, hence why an amazing drawing of a shark was flagged as a live animal for sale. So just follow their instructions. If your product is flagged or your account is suspended or your product visibility is limited, you should be able to find information as to why that happened and then how to fix it. You should be fine. Now, before we close, there is more to Google Merchant Center that you'll want to check out on your end. So over here in the left navigation, if we start at the top, under Overview, this is just an overview of your products and any issues you need to take care of. Below that, Notifications, pretty self-explanatory. We've been in Products. We were also in Shipping and Returns. And then in Business Info is where we added the address and everything. Below that, store quality. If you click into that, you're going to find some comparison info based on your shop's performance compared with other shops. And that'll have more info once your products have been on Google Merchant Center for a bit. Below that, free listings and ad campaigns. That's going to be stats around your listings and any ads you might be running. The summary section here will let you know how your free listings are doing once they've been up and running, and Google Merchant Center has some data around that. The product section here are your product analytics, and then online store below that, that includes stats around your clicks and impressions and some other info. Now that was a lot of info, but I hope it helps. I hope it kind of broke down Google Shopping and Google Merchant Center a little bit to make it easier for you. If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us in support. We can definitely help. I mean, we can't force Google Merchant Center to approve your products or speed up their review, though that would be amazing. But we can help guide you through any issues that might pop up along the way. So definitely reach out to us. You can email us at support@bigcartel.com, or if you're logged into your admin, you can click the speech bubble at the bottom right and you can send us a message that way. We are always happy to help. Thanks so much for watching.